Hey, boys and girls, today I want to talk to you about a new part of speech. So, a part of speech is a type of word that we use when we talk or when we write. So, we've learned about nouns, we've learned about verbs, we've learned about adjectives, we've learned about pronouns, and now we're going to learn about something called an adverb. Adverb. Okay. So here it says an adverb is a word that tells more about the verb in the sentence. So we remember from learning about verbs, those are our action words. A verb is what you do, right? So an adjective is a describing word, and you use adjectives to describe a noun, a person, place, or thing, right? The silly girl, the happy girl, right? The girl is a noun. Well, an adverb is kind of like an adjective because it helps and it says more about something. But the difference is an adjective describes a noun, where an adverb tells more about the verb, about the action of the sentence. So the adverb tells when, where, or how something happens, right? They can also tell how much or how little. So here's an example. The moon is shining brightly. Here, the verb is shining. And how is it shining? It's shining brightly. So brightly is the adverb. The turtle slowly crossed the road. Okay, well, what's the verb? Crosses, right? And how does he do it? Slowly. So slowly is the adverb there, right? It tells us more about a verb. It tells us when, where, or how something happens. That's the important thing, right? So let's take a look at some adverbs, and then I'm going to do an example activity that you are going to complete today. So adverbs describe a verb. They tell us how, when, where, right? So let's look at some and put them in the right spot. So the word quickly is an adverb. Does quickly tell us how something happened, when something happened, or where something happened? It tells us how. Oh, he ran? How did he run? Quickly. Okay. What about the word now? Now is an adverb. Doesn't tell us how they did something. Oh, it tells us when they did it, right? I don't know why these aren't sticking. Let me see if I can get some tape. All right, maybe I'll just write them in. That might be easier than taping them. So we did quickly, tells us how. Now tells us when. Okay. What about yesterday? The word yesterday doesn't tell us how they did it. That tells us when they did it. There's an adverb for when. Slowly. Slowly doesn't tell us when, or it doesn't tell us where they were either, but it tells us how they did something. So slowly is an adverb that tells us how. All right, what about the word outside? Outside is also an adverb. There's our first one that tells us where, right? Ooh, where did they do it? They did it outside, right? Okay, and then we have gracefully. Gracefully. That tells us how they did something. Right? Let's see, what are the other ones? About inside, right? If outside tells us where, so does an inside. And then we have later. Later is another adverb that tells us when. Okay, let's see. We did quickly. What about there? There tells us where it happened, right? There tells us where. It rhymes. All right. What about quietly? Tells us how something happened. How did they do it? They did it quietly. What else? Another when one might be today, right? Or after something. Let's see if we can do some other where ones. Where would be, we did outside, inside, upstairs. them downstairs, right? So there's some examples of some adverbs. They're telling us how something's happening and when something's happening and where something is happening, right? So those are our adverbs. Today we're going to practice with adding some adverbs. So what we're going to do is you're going to take a piece of paper, you're going to fold it in half. Okay, top half we'll leave in blank for now. The bottom half, to start, you're going to come up with a simple sentence about yourself. The simple sentence means it's just going to have the word I with a verb. You tell me what one thing you did. So mine is I skipped. You could do I ran, I jumped, I hopped. Simple sentence, just those two words, I and then your verb, telling what you did. Okay, and then we're going to go, and I took a ruler and made lines on mine to separate my sentences. You can do the same. It might be helpful for you. But now I'm going to go through and I'm going to say, okay, I skipped. I'm going to add some adverbs here. And the first time, my first sentence is going to be tell how I skipped. So I skipped happily. So there's my how one. All right. So then for your next sentence, you start off the same. I skipped, but now we're going to add some more adverbs. So we're still going to tell how. So happily is going to come down. And now I'm going to add another adverb, an adverb that tells me when. So I skipped happily today. And then I'm going to make one more sentence, and this time I'm going to add 3 adverbs, right? I'm going to tell how I skipped. I'm going to tell when I skipped. And I'm going to tell where I skipped. I picked inside. So now I have I skipped happily. I skipped happily today. I skipped happily today inside. So look at those adverbs and how they make my sentence so much better, right? Because I'm telling more about how I did something, okay? So you'll notice up here is blank. On your paper, it's not going to be blank. That's where you're going to draw a picture for me, right? You're going to draw a picture of your sentences. So I would draw a picture of myself skipping happily today inside. So I'd be inside the house. I'd have a big smile, right? Because I'm skipping happily today inside the house. All right, so that is your adverb practice assignment for today. And I will share some more examples of adverbs, but they really are cool words because they do help us so much add more to our sentences and make us better writers and speakers, and really helps us to paint a picture of what's happening. I skipped is kind of boring. Right? You can picture I skipped, but everybody's going to picture something different. When I'm telling you I skipped happily and today and inside, now I'm giving you more of a picture, right? And telling you even more about what I'm trying to say. So those are adverbs. They add to the verb, right? That's the way to remember it. An adverb adds to the verb. So adverb, add to the verb, right? All right, I can't wait to see your sentences that you come up with when you add the adverbs and make super sentences.